Welcome to Channel Carney just delivered a blunt message to Donald Trump and Washington. Canada will never again place its future in American hands. Speaking at the 2025 Progress Summit in London alongside UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer and Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, Carney declared that the old world order is finished. Laying out his vision of a Canada strong, he dismissed backward-looking politics with a warning. Nostalgia is not a strategy. Tonight, we break down Carney's powerful remarks, his call for independence from U.S. reliance, and what this seismic shift in the global system could mean for Canada's future. Carney began by reflecting on what Canadians felt in the last election, a deep sense of lost control. Inflation was climbing, migration was mishandled, and then came the biggest shock, U.S. tariffs. For Carney, this was the sharpest reminder of Canada's vulnerability. Decades of reliance on Washington had left the country exposed. When Trump's tariffs hit, the truth was undeniable. A single decision in the White House could upend millions of Canadian livelihoods. Carney's answer was decisive: fight back. In one of the strongest responses in Canadian history, he redirected tariff revenues into Canadian workers, jobs, and retraining. His message was unmistakable: Canada will not be bullied. But Carney didn't just fight back, he pivoted to building. He reminded Canadians that true strength doesn't come from reacting to every blow, but from creating lasting foundations at home. Instead of dwelling on tariffs and threats, he urged the country to invest in its own workers, industries, and innovation. For Carney, resilience meant not only standing up to pressure, but also shaping a future where Canada controls its own destiny. Carney also zeroed in on the everyday struggles Canadians face: the rising cost of living, stagnant wages, and unaffordable housing. He argued that governments can't simply preach values, they have to deliver results. That's why his first steps were concrete: cutting taxes for 22 million Canadians, easing costs for first-time homebuyers, and scrapping the divisive carbon tax that had fractured the country. Carney then unveiled an ambitious plan to double the pace of home building, powered by Canadian materials and technology, with affordability built into every project. He emphasized that this wasn't just economic policy, it was nation-building. The most powerful moment came when Carney admitted what no Canadian leader before him had dared to say: Canada had been dangerously over-reliant on a single trading partner. It was a direct shot at Trump's America. Carney argued that Canada must strengthen itself at home while diversifying abroad. Not with everyone, but with allies who share our values of open markets and fair partnerships. For him, this isn't about clinging to nostalgia for the old system. It's about survival in the new one at our border. Carney unveiled his vision: Canada Strong. He explained that while Canada's foreign policy had always been rooted in values, it now must also be rooted in strength. Strength built at home, and strength shared with like-minded allies. The defining line of the summit was unmistakable: we're not going back. Nostalgia is not a strategy. Carney declared that what the world is living through is not a transition, but a rupture. The old order of trade and geopolitics is gone. The real question now is simple: who adapts, and who gets left behind? Carney's answer was clear: Canada will adapt, Canada will lead, and Canada will stand strong. The Progress Summit wasn't just another gathering of leaders. It was Carney's stage to send a direct warning to Trump, to Washington, and to Canadians themselves. Our future cannot depend on the United States. Instead, Carney laid out a vision of a country that builds at home, diversifies abroad, and partners only with nations that share its values. Canada Strong is not just a slogan, it is a survival strategy. And with it begins a new chapter, one where Canada steps out of America's shadow to claim its place as a